later tonight, a November snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today we hit Week 10, and we've got a good one in store between the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. And I have been looking forward to this one all week, and we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Well, this defense for the Seahawks, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
To throw on 2nd down. McFarland. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. On the move past the 40. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 35. Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who was so compact and powerful. And that strength was on display there.
Yeah, and that's a run born out of ferociousness. He took on that initial contact and in his mind just screamed, "Out of my way," and kept right on going and wound up turning it into a big play.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Dudley. And down right around the 32-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. The Vikings at 500 now. 4-4 on the year. And they come in off the extended break from the bye.
And I think it was much needed as well because you play 2.5 months. You know you're ready for some time off in order to get prepared for the home stretch. In fact, when they looked at the schedule to start the season, I think they liked where their open week fell.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Dudley. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 26.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Off-play action. McFarland. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. The big fella. The 40. 20. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. 4-4 their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered, Just how good is this team? They want to be consistent in their play, not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
On second down, Cook. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
To throw on third down, McFarland. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down.
So on fourth down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
They'll run with Walker to begin the drive.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. On play action, Allen.
Throw out wide to Walker.
And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. And this one is incomplete.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that would be the last shot that they take in this game.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Here's Allen to throw it. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 43. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 43. Allen to throw once more. He finds his man, complete. That's Miles. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. On second down, it's Walker. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To the air, Allen. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
this early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Now Allen. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
So out now is the Seattle field goal team. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
And this will not be drawn out. It's a touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they had lost 2 in a row prior to getting the open week last weekend, so potentially a chance for them to get away for a bit, heal up, and come back strong.
That's what the hope is anyway, because you're going to find out now with your team, are you still focused on being the best you can be for the rest of the season with the things going the way they have earlier this year?
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. McFarland. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jamal Adams on the safety blitz, too fast to handle. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Throwing on 3rd and long. McFarland. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Oh, he bowls over it. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. And getting our first update now from Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they entered play on a 2-game win streak, and then they've got the open date on their schedule next week. So this is a group that's really looking to hit the break on a high note.
And this will obviously be a tough game for them. But go ahead and play this out with me, partner. If they win here and make it 3 in a row, they get to heal up after that. You got to think that's an ideal setup and a worthy goal to play for in this one.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Allen going to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw, it's Allen. Over the middle, complete. That's Miles. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon.
So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
Back to the ground, this time Cook. And the ball is knocked out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Do you remember in preseason when we were going to the different training camps and visiting teams, and we always would see the running backs working out and going through those gauntlet drills, and, you know, guys either slapping at the ball or the machines. You got to learn to take care of it.
Yeah, they lost it there. Big fumble. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Allen. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. It's rare that a receiver of his caliber would drop one pass, but that's now 2 times he's had his mitts on one and lost it.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're going to lose confidence in him, though, because of the track record. Such a good player, maybe having a bad game, but I think they'll still go to him in a critical spot.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. He finds his man, complete. It's Miles. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Again, they'll throw with Allen. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
A gear for Walker running right.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe bring in an extra defensive back or 2 because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, C.J. Mosley. There he goes, right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, I mean, it hadn't been a picture-perfect first half for this defense to this point, but that's a big play to get them right back in the ballgame.
And I think that changes their mind frame. Now they're saying to themselves, hey, we're still in this. And even though our offense hasn't done anything, we've had our troubles on our own right, we still made a play right there that could change the course of this game. Great job delivering.
And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Sitting at 1st place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
He's just not had his focus in this game. It's not 1 drop. It's not 2. That's 3 for this contest.
Yeah, uncharacteristic for any NFL receiver, and he's no exception. Allen now looks to throw. And Walker has it. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Throwing on first down is Allen. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
It's a gain of 7. That brings up 2nd and 3 at the 43-yard line.
Throw left side complete. That's Miles. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards to pick up there. That's how you draw up the run-pass option right there. You get a chunk play out of it.
And you know quarterbacks love to throw the RPOs because oftentimes they're in-breaking routes, but receivers love it even more. The ball gets to them quickly, allows them to put some moves on in the secondary.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And incomplete on the deep ball.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Allen, an out route, and he's got the connection to Walker. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. This offense on third down today, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. On play action, Allen. And that is incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He brought that one up in the red zone. An excellent play. One that made excellent points on the board when this drive is over.
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they are back down to the 500 mark after 2 straight losses. And, Charles, this is a team that, to be frank, their play has really dropped off the last couple of weeks.
And, Brandon, I think there's a sense around the building there. They can't let this losing streak get any worse than it is. Because if they were to lose here and fall below 500, then you're playing catch-up the rest of the way. They've got to take a stand and make it stop right now.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Again, it's Cook. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30.
Brought down at the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 5.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Back to throw. McFarland. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it. But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. And these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
I don't know why, but it's always agonizing to me to see a guy make a mistake in this phase of the game because you can. It's all on him. All eyes there. He's got a chance to make a punt return, and instead he ends up putting it on the carpet.
Puts it on the carpet. The little rubber pellets shoot up. Never a good sign for a returner on this field turf surface.
No, not at all. And a bunch of them go up when they're all trying to get to the football, don't they?
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis C. And the Vikings are going to take over.
About ready to get this next drive underway. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Throwing on 3rd and long. McFarland. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 20. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this, but you would think definitely enough time to at least try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, you want to move with a nice sense of pace. You want to up the tempo a little bit, but you have to do it with some poise as well. You don't want to go so fast that you hurry yourself into mistakes. There's enough time to put points on the board if they do it right.
And even though they have the lead, you know that they would love to extend this lead before heading to the locker room.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Here's Allen. Catch is made by Metcalf. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. 27 yards there, a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving.
Oh, Allen cannot get away, and down he goes. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. And that's Elliott, complete. Call it a gain of a yard. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
A tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains.
From midfield, here's Allen. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's probably realizing he should have stayed in the end zone as he can only muster a return to the 14-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box, establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going, so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Allen off the play fake. Steps away. And he's taken in by the tight end Fant. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. 27 yards there, a first down.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
And good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. Second down coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
On 2nd and 7, Allen. He finds his man, complete. That's Miles. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Play action. Now it's Allen. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. The interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return. Atlanta gets it back, drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Allen. Over the middle, he finds Eskridge. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 14. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Walker now on 1st and 10.
And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Allen. That is caught at the 7-yard line. I see an extra defensive back on the field. A little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They'll try for the first with Walker. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
Just a simple run play there on 3rd and 1, but this D was up to the challenge and stopped him, bringing up 4th down.
And his kick is indeed good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side said, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, the defense obviously could not have drawn up a better start to the 2nd half. They're holding on to that slim lead, just looking for a stop. Not only do they get the stop, Charles, they get the pick 6.
Another example that life comes at you fast, doesn't it? One play ago, they're defending a slim lead coming out of the...
And he's going to be taken down. It's a sack, and they fail on the try for 2. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Now this will be returned from deep in the end zone.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Off the play fake. McFarland. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Kaiir Elam makes a pick. And the Seahawks are going to get the football here at their own 23. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now Allen throwing on second down. Noah Fant with a catch on the crossing route. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Throwing on second and long. Allen. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Allen. And that is incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Following the punt return here, there's someone shaken up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Second and 8. Operating from the gun, McFarland. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better?
Under pressure, and they got to him again. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
The Seahawks take over first down 10 at their own 34-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. sticking with Walker on second down. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there. And on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously. But at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who could turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The Seahawks on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 2. On third down, here's Walker. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. So out now is the Seattle field goal team. This to make it a 3-score game late. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that will extend their lead even further. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
But you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. They start the drive with Cook. And not a whole lot to speak of there, so bring him down shy of the 20. And defensive back Jamal Adams in on the stop. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
On third down, Dudley. And he's going to get this to about the 20, but that is well short of what he needed. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
And here's Ryan Wright now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Nowhere to go that time. It's a 46-yard punt with a loss on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. A nice run on 1st down, gets him 6 yards to the 31. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Now on 3rd and 2, they're going to elect to throw with Allen. And this is going to be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. That'll go down as just a 20-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. And they'll indeed take a knee. So the victory here for Seattle. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Seahawks, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans.